The apps you use every day constantly make decisions. Is this email spam? Is it late enough to switch to dark mode? Is the battery low enough to show a warning? Each of these questions can be answered with a simple yes or no. Let's see how we can teach our Python programs to make the same kinds of decisions. Suppose we want to build a program that recommends what to wear based on the temperature. If the temperature is below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, the recommendation is to wear a jacket. If the temperature is 50 or higher, the recommendation is to not wear a jacket. To write the code that makes decisions like this, we need two basic ingredients. First, we need a way to ask a yes or no question and represent its answer. Second, we need a way to run different code based on the answer. Let's start by looking at the first ingredient. In Python, the answer to a yes or no question is represented using a data type called a Boolean. A Boolean can only have one of two values, true or false. For example, let's create a variable called isCold. To represent a yes answer to the question, is it cold outside, we can set it to true. To represent a no answer, we would set isCold to false. Fine, but there's a problem with this approach. We had to decide for ourselves whether it's cold, and then manually type in true or false. What if we have the actual temperature and we want Python to determine whether it's cold? For example, let's say the current temperature is 45, and anything below 50 counts as cold. To ask Python, is the current temperature less than 50? We write temperature less than sign 50. When we run the cell, Python evaluates this expression and outputs true. This means that, yes, the temperature is below 50. If we instead change the temperature to 55 and evaluate the same condition again, Python now produces false, meaning the temperature is not below 50. This less than sign is called a comparison operator. It compares two values and gives us back a Boolean, true if the relationship holds, false if it doesn't. Running a comparison and seeing the result is useful, but what if we want to use that answer later in our code? Well, we can store it in a variable just like any other value. For example, let's assign the result of temperature less than 50 to a variable called isCold. When Python runs this line, it works from right to left. First, it evaluates the comparison and gets false. Then, it stores that Boolean in isCold. If this right to left order feels unclear, we can add parentheses around the comparison to make the evaluation order more obvious. The less than operator is just one of several comparison operators Python gives us. We can check if a value is greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal to another value. One thing to watch out for, when checking if two values are equal, we use a double equal sign. This is different from the single equal sign, which is reserved for variable assignment. Great, so now we have Booleans and comparison operators in our toolkit, which means we can ask questions and get true or false answers. But right now, our program just knows the answer. It doesn't actually do anything based on it. That's where the second ingredient comes in. We need a way to tell Python, if this is true, then do this. Let's put our isCold variable to work. Say we want our program to print wear a jacket, but only if isCold is true. In Python, we do this with an if statement. The header of an if statement starts with the keyword if. This keyword is followed by a condition, here, isCold, and ends with a colon. On the next line, indented, we write what should happen when the condition is true. In this case, printing wear a jacket. That indentation isn't just for readability. It signals to Python that this line is part of the if block. To see the difference, let's add an unindented line outside of the if block to mark when the program finishes. This line will run regardless of the value of is cold. Great, now let's see this if statement in action. With the temperature set to 48, we run the code and get wear a jacket followed by end of program. Here's why. 48 is less than 50, so the comparison returns true, which is then assigned to is cold. When Python reaches the if statement, it first checks whether is cold is true or false. In this case, is cold is true. So Python runs the indented code and outputs wear a jacket. After the if block, Python moves on to the unindented code and outputs end of program. Great, but suppose it warms up and the temperature is now 55 degrees. Now, when we run the code, we only get end of program. This is because 55 is not below 50, so is cold was set to false. Then, like before, Python evaluated the condition, but this time it was false. So Python skipped the indented block entirely and moved on to the unindented code. Great, an if statement gives us one decision path. If the condition is true, run this code. But in many cases, we also want our program to do something only when the condition is false. In our example, we want to suggest no jacket if the condition is false. To do this, we'll need another keyword, else. To add an else block, we'll write the keyword else at the same indentation level as the if, followed by a colon. Unlike the if statement, the else statement doesn't require a condition. It is the fallback option. On the next line, we indent the code we want to run when the condition is false. In this case, we'll print no jacket needed. Awesome, let's see this else block in action. Since the temperature is currently set to 55, when we run the code, is cold will be false. This means Python will skip the if block and run the else block instead. Running the cell, we see no jacket needed, followed by end of program, exactly as expected. And if the temperature falls back down to 45 degrees, is cold will be true. This means Python will run the if block just like we saw earlier and print wear a jacket. The else block will get skipped this time because the if condition is satisfied. Then Python will continue on to the unindented code and print end of program. Running the cell, we get the expected output. Awesome! Now you know how to make decisions in Python. We started with Booleans to represent yes or no answers. Then we used comparison operators to ask questions and get those answers automatically. Finally, we brought it all together with if and else statements to run different code based on those answers. But the if-else structure is just the beginning. There's more to conditionals, including how to handle more than two possibilities and combine multiple conditions together. We're working on a video on this, which we'll link in the description. If you want to practice what you've learned in this video, check out the example code linked in the description. We're working on lots more Python explainer videos like this one, so be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out. If you have any questions or topics that you'd like to learn about, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching!